What's up, everybody, and welcome to NFL Nexus. Today, we are diving deep into an offense that is just giving defensive coordinators absolute nightmares. We're talking about the Los Angeles Rams and their absolutely game-wrecking ground attack. It's not just one thing, it's a perfect storm of power, smarts, and just pure toughness that has become the real engine of this entire team. So, let's break it down.
So, let me ask you something. When you think about an offense that just completely takes over a game, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For 99% of people, it's the superstar quarterback, right? The guy with the cannon arm who can make all the throws. And look, having a great QB is obviously a huge piece of the puzzle. But the real secret to winning consistently, to being a team that can impose its will on anybody, that often comes from somewhere else.
And that's exactly what we're seeing with the Los Angeles Rams. For them, the answer isn't just one guy, it's two. They've built something special, a true 1-2 punch that gives them a relentless, dangerous threat on every single down. It's more than a committee backfield, it's a legit two-headed monster, and this duo is now the absolute beating heart of this offense.
All right, so let's get right into it. The stars of the show today are Kyren Williams and Blake Corum. This partnership is what we're calling the engine of the offense. Why? Because they're the ones setting the physical tone of the game. They wear defenses down, they grind out the clock, and they open up everything for the passing game. It's been a while, but the Rams finally have a backfield that can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the NFL.
Okay, let's just start with a number. Over 2,300. That's how many combined rushing yards these two guys racked up in the 2025 season. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's not just good. That's identity-defining. You don't get to that number by accident. That represents drive after drive, first down after first down, and just completely demoralizing the will of the defense across from you. It's the proof right there in the numbers.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The folks over at Pro Football Focus, PFF, the guys who break down every single snap of every game, they saw the same thing. They were so blown away by what Williams and Corum were doing that they placed both of them in their top 20 highest-rated running backs for the entire season. That's wild. It tells you this isn't just about getting a lot of carries, this is about high-quality, elite-level play from two different guys in the same backfield. So let's peel back the layers on this monster, okay? We got to start with Kyren Williams. We're calling him the consistent force because that's exactly what he is. Every great running back duo needs an anchor. That guy you can rely on week in and week out to just get the job done. That's Kyren Williams. He's the metronome, the bedrock of this entire rushing attack.
So check out this number. 1,485 yards. That was his total for 2025. But here's the really incredible part. That was his third consecutive season going over 1,000 yards. Do you know how hard that is for a running back in today's NFL? With the brutal wear and tear of the position, staying that productive for 3 years straight is just a testament to his toughness, his skill, and, yeah, his remarkable consistency.
And this quote from PFF, I think this is so important to understanding how he gets it done. He's not the guy who's going to pop up on the stat sheet with a 200-yard game that grabs all the headlines. His dominance is different. He got to that huge yardage total by just showing up every single Sunday and chipping away. 80 yards here, 95 there, 110 after that. It was like death by 1,000 cuts for opposing defenses. He just wears you down.
And this right here, this is what that consistency actually looks like when you break it down. Think about this. He rushed for under 50 yards only twice the entire season. That means you could basically Sharpie in a solid performance from him every single week. His PFF grade was below their average mark of 60.0 just one time, so he basically never had a bad day at the office. And my favorite stat on here? He forced at least one missed tackle in all but a single game. The guy's just a machine who constantly creates his own yardage.
Okay, so you've got the steady, grinding force in Williams. But every monster needs two heads, right? So let's talk about the other one, Blake Corum. If Williams is the thunder, Corum is the lightning. We're calling him the efficient spark because that's his job. He comes in, often against a tired defense, and just completely changes the dynamic with these explosive high-impact plays.
I want to start with a number for Corum too, and it might be the single most impressive stat in this entire breakdown. That number is 0. What is that? That's the number of times Blake Corum has fumbled the football in his entire NFL career. 0. Nada. Zilch. In a league where one turnover can completely swing the momentum of a game, having a guy who is literally perfect with his ball security, man, that's an incredible weapon. The coaches trust him completely.
And his journey to becoming this weapon has been pretty amazing to watch. If you look back at his rookie year in 2024, he was barely a factor. A late-round pick trying to find his way. But then, in his sophomore season in 2025, boom, a total explosion onto the scene. His snap count nearly tripled. He went from being an afterthought to being a critical, indispensable piece of what the Rams wanted to do on offense. He earned it.
And this chart right here shows you exactly why he earned that bigger role. Look at that massive purple slice, 28%. That means nearly a third of the time he touched the football, it resulted in either a fresh set of downs or points on the board. That is an insane level of efficiency. He's not just a change of pace back. He's a game-changing back. When Corum touches the ball, something really good is about to happen for the Rams.
So, what makes him so effective? It all starts with his vision, which is truly elite. He just sees the running lane a split second before anybody else. And then he has this ridiculous ability to just plant his foot in the ground and explode through that hole without losing any speed. He can cut on a dime. And the craziest part is, his per-carry numbers were so good that if he had gotten a starter's workload, he was on pace for 1,000 yards himself. The Rams basically had 2 1,000-yard backs. That's an embarrassment of riches.
Okay, so we've established it. We've got two absolute studs in the backfield, a perfect combination of styles. But you and I both know how football works. A running back can be the most talented player in the world, but if he's getting hit 2 yards deep in the backfield on every play, it just doesn't matter. So that leads to the next huge question. Who is clearing the path for these guys to do their thing?
And that's where we have to talk about the big guys up front, the foundation of this entire operation, the Rams' offensive line. These are the unsung heroes. They don't get the fantasy points, they don't get the big headlines, but I'm telling you, without them, none of this works. Their ability to consistently win the battle in the trenches is what makes everything else possible. Now, I know we're talking about the run game, but to really understand how dominant this line is, let's just look at their pass protection for a second. They only gave up 23 sacks all of last season. That was tied for the fewest in the entire National Football League. Think about that. With all the freakish edge rushers in the league today, to keep your quarterback that clean is just a monumental achievement. And if they can protect the QB like that, you better believe they can move people in the run game.
And what does that kind of protection lead to? Well, it leads to your quarterback, Matthew Stafford, having an MVP-caliber season. It's not a coincidence, right? When a quarterback has that much time to stand in a clean pocket, go through his progressions, and pick a defense apart, he's going to play at an elite level. The offensive line's success and Stafford's MVP award are 100% connected.
And what I really love about this group is how they've handled adversity and transition. Just take the story at right tackle. Coming into 2025, the longtime veteran Rob Havenstein was the guy. But then, injuries happen, it's just part of the game. So in steps this young player, Warren McClendon Jr., and he didn't just fill in, he played so well that he flat out won the job. By the end of the year, he was the unquestioned starter, and Havenstein ended up retiring. That is a seamless, incredibly successful changing of the guard.
So this is what that vital position looks like heading into 2026. You've got McClendon locked in as your starting tackle, and just look at that key stat. He allowed only one single sack in 13 starts. That is phenomenal, especially for a young player. And then, the front office made a really savvy move, re-signing the veteran David Quessenberry to a 1-year deal. So you have your ascending star, and you have a proven, reliable backup. That's just smart team building.
And if you had any doubt at all about McClendon's status, just listen to the head coach. Sean McVay came right out and put it to bed. He said McClendon has, quote, no question earned the right to be the starter. When a coach like McVay gives you that kind of public endorsement, that's everything. It tells the player, the locker room, and the fans that they believe they've found their guy for the foreseeable future.
Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. We've looked at the dynamic runners, we've looked at the dominant blockers paving the way for them. So what does this all mean? What's the big picture takeaway for the Rams as they look ahead to the 2026 season?
When you lay it all out, it's pretty clear. It's like they have the perfect recipe, a checklist for building an elite ground game in the modern NFL. You've got your consistent, tough workhorse in Kyren Williams? Check. You've got your explosive, efficient spark plug in Blake Corum? Check. You've got a young, ascending, and already battle-tested offensive line? Big check. And you have smart veteran depth to protect you from injuries? Check. They have all the bases covered.
So, it all comes down to this one big question. When you take this elite complementary duo in the backfield, and you put them behind that powerful, rock-solid offensive line, are we looking at what could be the absolute best backfield in the entire NFL for the 2026 season? The argument is getting pretty hard to ignore.
What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Is this the best backfield in the league? If not, who's even close? I'd love to hear your take on it. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe to NFL Nexus so you don't miss any more deep dives like this one. Also, a quick note, we're trying to grow this channel, and a great way to support us is by checking out our coloring books. They're perfect for kids, grandkids, or even for adults who just want to unwind. You can find a link down in the description or just scan the QR code you see on the screen now. Your support truly means the world, and it helps us keep making content just like this. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.